Hello, everybody. David Kendrick, owner Line Speaking Agency, coming at you for a little talk about suicide during Suicide Prevention Month. Gonna get start. We're gonna talk a little bit about suicide prevention in the civilian and the veteran community. I'm gonna start with the veteran. Use my lived experience and go into a little bit of detail about suicide in our community, the veteran community. Uh, there's been years where there have been over 20 suicides a day in the veteran community. And a lot of veterans now who deployed when we were 18, 19, 20 years old are now approaching their 40s, and a couple of us are over 40. And something that I know for me, because I was injured in Iraq, that contributes to suicide is the pain that we have from our injuries in Iraq and Afghanistan. I was shot by a sniper when I was 20 years old, and I'm 38 years old now, and there's not a day that goes by that I do not have pain. And there's some veterans who, and I've talked with them, who don't want to live a life on opioids and who don't want to drink every day just to deal with the pain. And you end up asking yourself a question: how long am I going to have to deal with this pain? You try to get back to the person that you were before you deployed, both physically and mentally, but it's so hard to do that. You feel like you're never, ever going to be you again. You feel like you're never going to be whole again when it comes to your pain. Um, uh, there's a lot of there's different types of pain that we all have when it comes to our injuries from the battlefield. There's You have orthopedic pain, like I have. That's why I had to move from my hometown, Rochester. I'm from Rochester, New York, and we get a lot of lake effect snow. And every time it snows, it's wet outside, and sometimes that snow it gets in your shoes and your feet get and your socks get wet, and I'm just in pain every single day. When I was up there, those winters up there are really brutal. So I had to move down here to Atlanta where it doesn't snow. So I can try to be as close or feel as close as I could to that 19-year-old David that didn't get shot by the sniper yet. But not every soldier is able to make, or not every veteran is able to make that transition and move to a place where the weather is nice. Or even if they do move to a place where the weather is nice, they still may have the pain. And it just makes life less enjoyable. You're not able to go out, socialize, enjoy life with your wife, enjoy life with your kids. I know for me, when my injuries were fresh, when I was going out with my friends and stuff every day, I was always the one to slow everybody down because I couldn't walk as fast as everybody else because I got shot in both legs in Iraq. And you just isolate yourself, and then that's when you start to drink and you abuse your opioids, and you just start to think to yourself, man, is life ever going to be better? Am I ever going to be normal? Whatever normal is. And then things like suicide become a viable option. And it starts as a little voice, like way back here. And then it slowly works your way to the forefront of your mind. Of course, when you're inebriated off of alcohol or whatever your substance of choice is, these things become viable options. Hey, it's taking my life. It's a good idea, and I think it's time to do it now. A little bit about my experience. A couple years ago, I think around 2018, I was going through something really bad, really rough with family, and I was drinking a lot. And I went to go see my psychologist in East Point, and they always ask you at the VA and at regular doctors as well, do you feel homicidal or suicidal? And this time my answer was yes. And I told told her, I said, if I go back home, I don't know if you're gonna see me again. And so we made a plan. The VA down here has a fourth floor, and on this fourth floor, of course, they take your shoestrings, when you put on scrubs, and the toilets look like jail and everything like that. But it keeps you safe. And the thing about when you feel like this, suicidal, homicidal, you feel it, and sometimes you have to protect yourself because you know what you're capable of, and only you know how to protect yourself, how to best protect yourself. So I stayed on this fourth floor at the VA for about a week with other veterans who were going through some tough mental health times as well. But on this floor in this ward, we had group therapy sessions. I had individual counseling. I was able to call out and use the phone and let my family know I was okay. They took care of my job for me. So my job, they didn't know what was going on exactly, but I was allowed this time off just so I could feel right again. And then I came out with something called a suicide prevention plan. Hey, what were these things that led to you feeling like you wanted to take your own life? And I wrote those things down with my psychologist after I came out of the hospital. We did it together in East Point. And we made this plan and I shared it with the people who are closest to me, because when it comes to our mental health, and my veterans know this, it's like an IED. And when that IED, which is you, explodes, the shrapnel is going to go everywhere, but it's going to hit the people closest to you first. And that may be your wife, your kids, and then it's going to spread out to whatever your circle of influence is, your job, your community, your relationships that you have with different organizations. When that IED finally explodes from your mental health, that shrapnel are going to hurt people, and it may hurt people, places and things that you didn't intend to get hurt. So it's very important that you take care of your mental health. You come up. Well, I came up with a suicide prevention plan. Now, you don't have to be thinking about suicide to do this, but if you do know somebody that is thinking about suicide, or somebody that you may be worried about, hey, let's sit down together and just work on a plan to help you get out of this funk that you're feeling. And you don't even have to tell this person that you're creating a suicide prevention plan for them, but just let them know that, hey, I have your back and I'm the person that you can talk to when you are feeling this way. Now, let's move over to the civilian world, because I am a civilian now. Life is hard. And sometimes life sucks. We got it down here in Atlanta. We got to deal with traffic. We got to deal with the heat. We got to deal with a lot of different things. And there's a lot of different factors, because we are individuals that impact us different ways. I've been fired before, but I never thought about wanting to take my own life. But for some people, getting fired, man, I don't have anything else to live for. This job was everything that I had. Or you get a divorce, or you lose your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Man, this person, I invested years of my life into this person. I don't have anything without this person in my life. I think I should take my life. And there's a great question that you should ask yourself when you're feeling this way. Do you really not want to be here? Or do you want the situation that you're in to be over? And more than likely, you just do not want to be in the situation that you're in right now. And the situation feels so huge, it makes taking your life seem like a viable option, just to make the situation, just a little road bump that you're going through, go away. So here's what you can do when you're feeling like this. First of all, you got to write a self-gratitude list, because the whole theme of September is suicide prevention. So let's talk about how we are going to try to prevent it. Along with the suicide prevention plan that I wrote for the veterans, which civilians can use as well. As a civilian, write down everything that you are thankful for. I know for myself, I'm a small business owner. I give speeches and things like that. I'm not where I want to be. And I see other speakers out there getting gigs and getting paid way more than I get paid for mine. And I struggle sometimes. But you know what? I wake up every day and I say, I thank God for another opportunity to make videos like this and do pitches and create or respond to calls for presentations or presenters for speeches. And if I don't get one, I know I'm getting closer and closer and closer to my goal. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to getting that paycheck that I want and being able to demand what my speaker's fee and actually get it accepted. So what you should do if you're feeling, well, you should do this anyway, but when you're in a funk, you just take some time and write down everything that you're thankful for. People that you feel grateful for having in your life, things that you feel grateful for in your own life. You can say, man, I have a great house. I have a great car. And it doesn't even have to be material things. You know, man, I lost 10 pounds this year. I'm grateful for that. Let me see if I can lose 5 more. But the thing that's going to work for you when it comes to this, it's personal to you. I can't tell you what you're grateful for. Only you can. And so every time you feel like you're in a funk, look at your gratitude list, a self-gratitude list. And all the things that you're thankful for should be on that list. That's all I have for now. David Kendrick, Line Speaking Agency. If you want to hear more about me or if you would like for me to come speak for you at a keynote speech at your event or organization, visit my website, www.dkendrickjr.com, and let's talk about me talking for you. Have a great day.